105.7 Light FM. It's REM there. Good morning. Buenos dias, y'all. Glad you're here today. It's 8:38. Time to check in and find out how your money's doing at Wall Street. To find out the specifics, we go downtown Sebring every morning to the offices of Statler Financial Service, where Phillip Statler is standing by. Phillip, good morning. How was your weekend?
Hey, doing well today, Dave. It was pretty good. You know, my son-in-law took off and headed north to Tennessee on Friday afternoon. So that was the big part of our day. And, the weekend we had to make some adjustments. And so my daughter's anxiously awaiting to get up there with him.
All right. You don't have her up there. You don't have her out of the house yet.
Nope. She's having to finish up some stuff at school where she's a teacher. So she'll be hanging around for a little while.
Okay, I got that. I spent most of the weekend up in Orlando at a church convention, so the weekend was short. Pretty much had a chance to pack for a vacation all day Sunday, and that was pretty much the extent of it. As we start out the morning looking at Friday, you and I thought it was going to be a pretty big day on Friday, and it kind of turned into a kissing your sister day again, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. Nothing really exciting came out of Friday, but it was, for the most part, at least it ended up pretty much in the green.
Pretty much. NASDAQ dropped a little bit, 64 points on the Dow and 2.5 points up on the Standard & Poor's. We'll take green ink, and it is a little bit of a recovery at the very least. Start out this week with kind of a tale of two takeovers. The investors and creditors for Sears are going to court to try to get that deal. Their CEO is struck with the bankruptcy court turned over because they think they're getting scrod. And the investors in Papa John's are saying, oh, yippee, we finally got a new chief, huh?
Well, that's right. We've got the Sears folks going to court today to try to block the takeover of Lambert there to take over Sears. But on the flip side, we've got, we talked last week about the activist investors, Starboard Value, the big fund there, and they made a $200 million investment into Papa John's. And so now they are naming their CEO will be the chairman of Papa John's. And I'm thinking Papa John's is liking that because they're trading up 5% this morning.
I got to believe the fact that Papa John's problems of the last 6-8 months have pretty much all stemmed from Papa John himself. A whole new slate of new faces at the head of that chain might be the salvation that investors will be happy to see, right?
Exactly. It's they need a change of sites anyway. And maybe the new CEO, a new chairman of the board, they'll get rid of that old news and start making some new news.
Absolutely. Keep the name, I guess, but at the same time, at the very least, new faces in charge. Let them put it behind them and start working on the business plan that evidently was working just fine until the gossip mill started running rampant on their former CEO.
Well, yeah, and that's the issue that always comes up is that bad news or a corporate person doing bad things or saying bad things, or at least coming out thinking they're saying bad things, affects the company stock. And Papa John's has got hammered pretty bad.
Absolutely. Just ask the governor of Virginia what happens when you get caught doing bad things 20 years ago, right?
Exactly. Time, time can dig up a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. Earnings season continues on the stock market, and after a Super Bowl weekend, they really didn't give us a whole lot to chew on. But there are a couple of relative household names that reported this morning that are kind of moving the market, aren't they?
Well, there are. There's a few things coming up. The most one that I've seen is Clorox. Clorox came out 10 cents ahead of estimates. Their revenue was basically in line. Their bottom line is getting a boost, though, because they've cut some expenses, and so they're seeing a jump in their profit margins, which is a good thing, too. And they're trading up almost as well as Papa John's this morning. They're up 4 3/4%. So not a bad jump today.
And that's also good to hear from a name brand of sundry products like Clorox. They make premium branded sundry home products that everybody buys. And that's a brand category that's kind of gotten beat up by some of the generics. So they're holding on to their own pretty well, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and so that's revenue was in line, profits were ahead, so they're in good shape. We'll see. They didn't really give any guidance for this next quarter, but we'll have to see how they come in.
Understood. The other report that we had that we kind of assembled together a little bit of is Cisco Systems. They're the restaurant food supplier, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and so they came in. The only thing I really have is their earnings number. I don't have the revenue number, but they came in about 2 cents ahead of estimates, and so but that's a good sign too, because restaurant supply means people are eating at restaurants, and that's a good sign for our economy too.
Exactly. The wholesale side of any business indicates good news in the discretionary retail that they serve. One of the tip sheets that I read, Phillip, said that a whole lot of stuff is going to be on hold today, pending the end of the day report from one of the big kahunas in the tech industry. Google's parent Alphabet reports, and that's just kind of one of those break points, kind of like Apple. Everybody sits on their hands and says, what's going to happen? Well, indications are from inside anyway, it's not too bad because they're trading up this morning anyway.
Well, yeah, just like you're right, Google, Apple, Amazon, all those guys, Facebook, when something happens that, people are waiting for those earnings to come out because it's just a good bellwether of how things are going. Hey, I just had this come across
Yeah.
my ticker here. Bill Gross, and I don't know, people may not know who he is, but Bill Gross is a well-known, well-respected bond manager. He was with Allianz forever, or PIMCO funds, really, but made a change about 2 years ago to Janus, and he's made an announcement. He is retiring, and so that's a pretty big announcement.
I remember the Twitter about when he went to Janus. I will admit the name does not mean a lot to me, but I know he was a superstar, and it was quite a coup when Janus took him away from Allianz. So he goes over there, gives them the imprimatur that he was able to give them for a couple of years, and then hangs it up, right?
Well, yeah, he really struggled when he made the move. As a bond manager, he had a couple tough years, so I think that probably was a incentive for him to retire.
I was going to say this has not exactly been a favorable time for the bond market for the time basically starting about the time of the Trump election, right?
Exactly. So, yeah, we'll see what they end up doing next.
Understood. Well, setting the table for this morning, Friday's action was, like we said, a mixed bag, but the blue chips, for the most part, ended up in green ink. Dow was up by 0.25%, $64 and change. Standard & Poor's was up by 0.09%, up by 2.5 about. And the Nasdaq, the only loser of the big three exchanges, it was down by 17.8, or about 0.25% down. Just jitters in the tech market in general. 45 minutes before we open this morning, Phillip, which direction are we heading today anyway?
Well, we've kind of switched today, Dave, to red ink. When I woke up this morning, we were green, but not by much, of course. And so now we've kind of flipped to red across the board. The Dow is not much, though. The Dow's down $10. S&P 500 is down 1.25. NASDAQ's down 4.75. Gold's down about 0.5% to $1,316 an ounce, and silver's down 1.2%, down to $15.74 an ounce. And then crude oil is down from where it closed on Friday, but it is up from where you and I talked. It's down 47 cents a barrel right now, but it's at $54.79. I mean, we are bumping our nose on 55.
And that was kind of getting out of that trading range. I was starting to kind of dismiss that number as being into for a couple of weeks in there, right?
Exactly. So it seems like now, it's on the rise.
Of course, but I can tell you why. It's because I'm going on vacation, and gas prices have to jerk up when I'm on vacation, right?
Well, hey, that's kind of the way it is when we all go on vacation. It's holiday time, vacation time, gas prices start to go up.
That's it. I caused that. That's all, with my fabled bad luck. Overseas markets, by and large. Asia optimistic this morning. They all closed up. Europe is mixed, with the German market off this morning, and England, for the most part, trading up in London this morning. Phillip, somebody want to get a hold of you to get a picture as to how to make retirement more productive for you and your family. How do I find you on the phone?
Dave, they can give us a call at 382-0037. Follow us online at statlerfinancial.com. Follow us on Facebook at Statler Financial Services, where we repost these every morning. So that if you miss us, catch us on Facebook, share us with your friends. And then every weekend, join us for the Statler Financial Radio Show, noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings on your sister station, News Talk 730 a.m.
All righty, and here with Scotty tomorrow morning, same time on Light FM. Fair enough?
Sounds good, man. Hey, you have a great vacation, and we will catch you next week when you get back.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. We'll see you then. It's 105.7